On Thursday, the 23rd of June 2016, Great Britain staged a referendum to decide whether they wanted to remain a part of the European Union or leave. The result? Leave. Scenes like this were a common sight before and after Brexit. Since the Brexit vote to leave, there has been an increase in the number of hate crimes committed in the UK. 2 weeks after the Brexit vote to leave, the number of reported hate crimes in the UK had risen by 45% compared to the same time the previous year. And 6 weeks after the Brexit vote to leave, the number of reported hate crimes had increased by a whopping 55% compared to the previous year. However, after further investigation, we found that in some places, such as Scotland, the number of recorded hate crimes after the Brexit vote had actually decreased. And this contrasts to other places in the UK, such as Suffolk, where recorded hate crimes had increased by a whopping 68% after the Brexit vote. This information got us thinking and discussing about whether the number of hate crimes reported had actually increased in our home county of Wiltshire since the Brexit vote. To start with, we wanted to get a general understanding of what a hate crime actually is. We began by speaking to PCSO Andrew McLaughlin, who is the local hate crimes advisor for the West Wiltshire Community Police Team.
Hate crime is any criminal offence which is perceived, and we'll come back to that in a minute, by the victim or any other person to be motivated by a hostility or prejudice based on a person's race or perceived race, religion or perceived religion, sexual orientation or perceived sexual orientation, disability or perceived disability, and gender or perceived gender. If there's someone in the corner of a room that overhears something that they think is targeting one of those 5 triggers, that can then be classed as a hate crime or indeed a hate incident. It can be the victim or any other person. So it's not just a victim, it can be anyone who overhears something, they can actually report it as a hate crime or hate incident.
In the UK, the majority of religious-based hate crimes are aimed at the Muslim community. This report by Press TV UK explains this further.
Muslims in the UK are under attack. A report by the monitoring group Tell Mama has thrown up some fascinating findings. In the year 2015, anti-Muslim abuse and attacks in public rose by a staggering 326%, and it was women that have taken the brunt of the abuse.
In Wiltshire, we don't get a huge amount, thankfully, of hate crimes reported. Indeed, an average year would be something like 450 reported to us across the whole of Wiltshire. That obviously includes Swindon and Wiltshire down as far as Salisbury. So we're looking at approximately 1.2 crimes per day, which is 1.2 too many. Prior to the Brexit result on June the 24th, there was a small spike of just 14% in hate crimes. However, the week June 24th to 31st of June, we saw a 127% increase. Now again, that sounds a lot, but that's probably 1.2 to about 3 crimes. The month of July saw a 69% increase on the norm, and month to August, 50%. Since then it has been decreasing. Since August the 1st, 38%, the last 4 weeks, a slight spike of 50%, the last 3 weeks 43%, and it's dropping. So we are returning back to the pre-Brexit levels of the 1.2 sort of per day.
We spoke to Abby Brewer, who is a member of the Stonewall organisation, about hate crimes directed towards the LGBT community. However, she did not want to appear on camera, so we have an actress in her place. However, the answers given are genuinely her own. So what does Stonewall do?
Stonewall is a charity that supports LGBT rights and fights against injustice within the community. A big part of this is assisting people who have been victims of hate crimes. And please note that Stonewall only became a charity for transgender rights about 1.5 years ago.
How does Stonewall help the victims of a hate crime?
They offer support by giving information on a person's rights, advice on where to go next, and also signposting services that can offer counselling.
Do you think the LGBT community are the targets of hate crimes?
Yes.
Have you ever been the target of a hate crime?
No.
Do you feel that hate crimes towards the LGBT community have gone underreported?
Yes.
Why do you think this?
They're underreported primarily due to the fact that they feel like they won't be taken seriously.
Has Stonewall experienced an increase in hate crimes since the Brexit vote?
No.
How does Stonewall work with the police?
Stonewall may offer training to police officers on how to follow the Equality Act. They may also work indirectly by encouraging people to approach the police to report crimes.
We also spoke to Ben Shepherd, who's been the victim of a hate crime due to his physical disability. Disabled people are one of the main groups affected by hate crimes in Wiltshire. Have you ever been the target of a hate crime?
Yes, throughout most of my life I'm an easy target, so I tend to witness it a lot.
Are there any organisations that you know of that could help you if you...
Not that I know of. No, not off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone. But yeah, I can imagine there are probably people out there, counsellors, etc., that would probably really help.
What's the police response been like when you've reported a hate crime?
Yeah, I'd say they're pretty well, to be fair. I've never reported it myself, but due to me being a stupid kid, got into fights before, I've been arrested for fighting, but when it all comes out, they can respect and they understand due to them calling me a cripple, calling me whatever, sends my anger outrageous. Luckily no charges were pressed, but you know, they are really good at it, they know the situation.
Since the EU referendum, there can be no denying that the number of hate crimes committed in the UK have increased. You may think that even an increase of only 1.2 hate crimes is not that much, but in fact 1.2 is still too many. If you have ever been the victim of a hate crime, have ever witnessed a hate crime, or you know somebody that has been the victim of a hate crime, then please report this to the police and make sure that 1.2 is too many.